back with another video now. This one was kind of out of the blue, and I think if there's anything that I want to react to, I'm gonna make a list, like anything that kind of deviates from my initial schedule or what I have planned. I'm gonna react to that and then react to whatever else I was gonna react to. But all in all, I wanted to look at this because I thought this was intriguing. So this was a video from Internet Anarchist, and it was about Penguinz0 and a particular Vegan Gains. Now, for those who don't know Vegan Gains is a individual who is fit, who is vegan, and allegedly, I think I'm saving myself by saying this, allegedly unhinged. To the point where quite a few of his detractors that he has had to go against in the past, he would threaten with violence. Even going, on brandishing a knife on certain videos, threatening individuals with that said knife. But yeah, so this is a video from the Internet Anarchist, and it's called How Penguinz0 Destroyed a Psycho Vegan Bodybuilder. Now, I'm going to look at this because there are certain things that apparently was that goes more into like Vegan Gains' character, and for the most part in terms of like trying to create arguments, it's, I don't want to say it's like the arguments he makes is kind of backwards and to an extent is irrational in some ways. Now, when I react to this, I'm just gonna say this is no harassment towards anybody that is in these videos, but I also I like mentioned the fact that by doing this, I'm not trying to make harassment towards vegans. I myself has been trying to look into veganism, and to an extent through my own diet have been mostly kind of converting to more of a plant-based diet, mostly during the week. I guess that I can't say I'm vegan then because I am still eating meat, but regardless of that, during the week I eat more of a plant-based diet than I do on the weekends. So yeah, above all, with some styles or life changes I've been trying to do. So I'm not going to completely kind of shit on people who go into that thing. However, I will call you out when you're being irrational. But I don't have to do that. Or if anything, I'll give my thoughts on the video itself. So without further delay, let's go and look into this. Just reading this, the video, I mean, it's blurred, but I can still read it. The video created is under the fair use doctrine, includes mixed media, contrasting clips, and historical analysis for commentary purposes. We discourage harassment and promote respectful discussion. Viewer discretion is advised. Which that's in our description.
Conflict with the insane bodybuilder Vegan Gains would go down as one of the most tumultuous controversies in YouTube history.
Yeah.
A mentally ill vegan who goes as far as making fun of children with cancer.
That's not okay. That really isn't.
So blah blah blah.
I want to read this. Today I attended the funeral of my little pal Lewis. It was a tough one. He left us at a tender age of 7. I went to the wrong church at first, so was late, but in doing so I ended up following the hearse into the church, which was a blessing. They passed Lewis's primary school and when he attended, or primary school where he attended, and there were hundreds of children at the fence waving and crying as they drove by. It was very touching to see how many people will miss Lewis. Cancer is an almighty killer, and I wish there were a cure for it. I, for one, will be supporting Team Lewis in the future, and hope you guys will do too. One day, cancer will be a thing of the past, and the memory of Lewis will live on in the cure when it's found. So,
cancer is an almighty killer, and I wish there was a cure for it. I, for one, will be supporting Team Lewis in the future, and hope you guys will too. One day, cancer will be a thing of the past, and the memory of Lewis will live on in the cure when it's found.
To wishing death upon Charlie.
that's not okay. Like that, just doing shit like that. I mean, it kind of questions of whether, or like, how you have a fan base in terms of, you know, you could talk about, especially with him like constantly talking about, you know, the respect of life, or I guess his main focus is respect of, you know, the life of animals, and disregarding the life of other people.
Charlie
would literally jizz my pants if I heard a vegan ended the existence of Penguinz0, or
all the way to threatening literal babies.
And when I say babies in a stroller, especially when they're crying, I just want to put my foot through the and step on it until it's nothing but blood and pulp on the pavement.
Hi.
Yeah, that's the type of. Apparently, he's been doing a lot of debates with Destiny, so would like to see that. I mean, I've already seen it, but I mean, dude, he's just as unhinged there as he is here in some of these clips.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be looking into the insane vegan YouTuber known as Vegan Gains, as well as his catastrophic controversy with YouTube titan Penguinz0, aka Moist Critical or Charlie. If you didn't just have a bout of nostalgia, you may be asking yourself the question of, who is Vegan Gains?
We already talked about that, but moving on.
Gains, real name Richard Burgers, rose to fame on YouTube by generating controversial and provocative content centered around veganism. Targeting meat eaters and other YouTube bodybuilders, he cultivated a reputation for his aggressive and confrontational style, quickly becoming a divisive figure in the YouTube landscape. By 2015,
that's an understatement.
His notorious antics had garnered disdain from the broader YouTube community, although his following of more radicalized vegans continued to swell amidst the escalating drama. In late 2015, the world would witness some of the first signs of sociopathic symptoms, when Vegan Gains' grandfather would suffer and die from a heart attack right in front of his eyes.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, I remember this clip. But yeah, a lot of people were kind of speculating that Vegan Gains might be a sociopath, in terms of, like, you know, his beliefs and how he reacts to certain situations. This in particular might also go into that, because holy shit.
This would be an extremely traumatizing event, but for Vegan Gains, this was an opportunity to take out his camera.
I just got back from the funeral thing that we had. It wasn't exactly a funeral, but a bunch of family got together and I was dragged to it. But anyway, I was planning on showing you guys footage of my grandfather actually having the heart attack. As soon as the paramedics got to the house, I took out my camera and started filming. But a bunch of people in my family, my mom, my grandmother, uncles, shit like that, they threw a big fucking fit about me showing that footage on YouTube. They're perfectly fucking fine with eating foods that cause fucking heart disease and make people actually die of fucking heart attacks. But when it comes to actually showing people what happens when they eat these foods, that's just too much. So
it's unfortunate that this guy doesn't understand there's a time and a place. And there's a time where you can, you know, be on your high horse and freaking give your ideals, and there's a place when it's available, but where you decided to, like, force your ideals, as well as, you know, do it the exact same moment and time and place where, you know, your family member was, you know, keeling over. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have been surprised if your family just decided to disown you because of your actions, or his actions, because this isn't his video. I mean, technically speaking, the clip is his video. The video itself is Interactive Anarchist.
Later in the video, Vegan Gains would talk about the situation like it didn't even matter and like it was deserved, showing zero empathy at all.
Yeah.
Now, why this heart attack happened, it's obvious. He was eating like absolute fucking shit. Ridiculous.
He doesn't know it. Here's another thing, because he wants to act as if he knows that. Like, oh, it's because of the bad food. You don't know that. I mean, ultimately, there could have been a variety of other factors. One thing I want to say, because we've been in debates about veganism before on the channel, and I'm just gonna say one thing in particular that some certain vegans don't understand is not everybody is or would be capable of fully sustaining on a vegan diet, especially when each and every person, like each and every one of us, biologically are different in terms of like what we're allergic to, what like in terms of our again our biology, and basically certain people are allergic to certain minerals or certain vitamins or certain components, or you guys get what I'm saying. I know I'm like stumbling on the particular word for it, but in terms of like certain substances or certain nutrients, there we go, nutrients that we are supposed to obtain every day. You have these individuals that claim, oh, if you just like take this supplement, it's like, well, certain people can't take supplements, or at least aren't going to take supplements. So it's like, what's the situation there? And it's like, oh, well, then they can do this. It's like, well, what if they're allergic to that? And it's a continuous back and forth. And again, certain vegans don't realize that although it is a noble, I will admit, it is a noble lifestyle to pursue, and props to anybody who manages it, but you have to realize that ultimately there is those situations where certain individuals, although would want to try to take part in a vegan diet, kind of like how certain individuals go into a keto diet, are incapable of doing it. And it's unfortunately due to their biology.
Ridiculous amounts of like red meat and pork and ice cream and shit like that. And I knew a few months ago he didn't have long to live. I even told my mom, I think back in like February or March, like he's not gonna make it to the end of the year. And yeah, I called it. He died because his fucking diet was absolute shit.
Again, he doesn't know that. He wants to assume because he has his high horse, but again, he doesn't know that.
The most notable controversies earlier in his journey was with the YouTuber Furious Pete, which was explained well by the Gamer of Mars, where he discussed Vegan Gain's interaction with Pete.
Furious Pete is one of the biggest YouTubers in the genre of eating challenge videos. Along with this, Pete is also known to be very into fitness, with him often making videos about his workout routines. In August of 2015, though, he had some bad news to reveal to his 3 million subscribers. When people in the comments started to mention that it looked like he was losing weight, Pete decided to make this video. In it, he explains that he was fighting a second round of cancer, which was taking a toll on him physically and mentally. Now, this is where Vegan Gains enters the picture. Richard is a Canadian-born man in his 20s that is fully committed to the vegan lifestyle and runs a YouTube channel about it. Because of past altercations with Pete, Vegan Gains decided to make a video about the cancer and let his true feelings out loud and clear.
Oh,
And it
good
seems
lord.
I was correct because Pete got cancer again. Oh, so sad.
And before you all start calling me a sociopath as
Because you are a sociopath. I mean, if you not to the point of like basically, laughing at a guy for having cancer, yeah, you're a fucking sociopath.
some sort of attempt to insult me, how about you consider the fact
It's not really much of insulting you. It's more, I mean, you could look at it as insulting you, but in reality, it's people giving an obvious observation. I mean, it doesn't, you don't need to be a doctor to see certain cues as to like sociopathic behavior.
that Furious Pete makes fun of the suffering and death of the animals he eats on a daily basis. So I don't see why I should make a joke about his suffering and death. So who would like a haha, you're gonna die of cancer t-shirt?
This would just make up of one of the many times that Vegan
If I want to look at that t-shirt again, like not Vegan Gains, because I don't want to give, okay, so it's a PETA shirt. It's making fun of PETA. Which, it's context to for vegan gains, in case you realize, I mean, to an extent, in case anybody didn't know, PETA having the largest number in terms of animal I would say animal cruelty and animal euthanasia compared to any other freaking shelter or animal shelter. So I think that to an extent, him making fun of PETA, yeah.
So I don't see why I should make a joke about his suffering and death. So who would like a haha, you're gonna die of cancer t-shirt?
This would just make up of one of the many times that vegan gains would actively push out borderline sociopathic opinions and stances online.
There are some people that I really do love, and I think they're worth something, but the majority of the human race, I just have absolutely no respect for. So,
You know what I don't respect? Him having Piccolo on his freaking... He does not deserve Piccolo.
don't get on my bad side, make some vegan gains, and be nice to animals, or I'll kill you.
Yeah. That's the message that he had continuously before I think his channel got deleted. Was, do what I want, and if you don't, or if you disrespect me, I'll kill you. That's basically his message, repeatedly. Or continuously as time had progressed before his channel got deleted.
One of the many fitness YouTubers that Vegan Gains would beef with was a creator known as Lex Fitness. Throughout the controversy, Lex Fitness would claim that Vegan Gains was a keyboard warrior and challenged him to confront him in person, which to Lex's surprise, he actually did. By July, Grade A Under A, a popular YouTuber at the time, would create 2 videos calling out and making fun of Vegan Gains, which would gain 1.6 million views.
How often do you see a Grade A Under A video anymore? I gotta ask. I know they were very prominent towards like the early 2000s, but come on, like how often do you see them now?
And 4.8 million views respectively, ultimately massively boosting the awareness for Vegan Gains. For Vegan Gains, any attention was good attention, and he would make a video thanking Grade A Under A for sharing his content to millions of people.
A lot of you have been begging me to respond to Grade Under A, and some of you have gotten the idea that the reason I've been reluctant to do so is because of fear of embarrassment, but no, I just don't have a problem with someone giving me free advertising that is so effective it reaches over 3 million people. So let me do what I do best, which is feed off the popularity of others.
Say goodbye to your bad habits the delightful way, with today's sponsor, Fume, the award-nominated device
might have to
that's
skip
all natural.
this.
At the start, I wasn't sure what to think about it, but it served over 100 design, perfect for easing stress and anxiety, and there's no reason that can't be you. Anarchist to get 10% off when you get the 16. Vegan Gains would catch the attention of popular YouTuber at the time,
Okay, there we go.
who would go on to create a video
Oh my gosh, how often do you see Leafy anymore?
on him further sharing his content.
What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video. But me, Vegan Gains, a YouTuber that has 200,000 subscribers, a very proud and active animal rights supporter, one of the few and active vegetarian bodybuilders, and last but definitely not least, a fucking psychopath. This guy is fucking nuts. Like, this motherfucker is fucking insane. Like, this dude is most known on this entire website for, get this, alright? Threatening to fucking kill people that decide not to only eat fucking plants.
And you're going to die, just like those animals.
On top of all that, he's also known for threatening people that don't like him to, get this, come and meet him somewhere so they can try to
I mean, again, with all this stuff, it doesn't. I would say like Vegan Gains has been an individual that has made the vegan mindset or the vegan lifestyle look bad, because a lot of people, I mean, to a degree, a lot of people that would want to look into veganism, like, unfortunately, Vegan Gains is one of those ones that are prominent, and unfortunately, in certain degrees, has kind of made it seem like certain aspects or certain individuals, or let's be honest here. It makes vegans look like they are unhinged.
fucking kill him. And I'm not talking about killing him in Call of Duty or something. I'm talking about real life. You get stabbed in the neck, you're done. It's over. It all started a few months ago when he uploaded a brand new video saying he was going to a vegetable club, and that if you didn't like him, you could actually come to that vegetable club and try to straight up battle him.
So it's a good opportunity to try and kill me, so if you think you have the fucking guts, come to the fucking Toronto Veg Fest.
Why did anybody take this guy seriously? Like, why do anybody takes it? How does anybody take his advice seriously? I mean, come on.
I swear to God, I am so fucking done. This dude is literally threatening people to come and find him at a fucking vegetable club so they can fight him. Like, dude, what is this guy's life? He's like a real life fucking anime character.
Despite receiving a considerable amount of negative attention, Vegan Gains would continue to amass a large cult-like audience of radical vegans and people attracted to the drama he created.
Yeah.
But all things must eventually come to an end, and by 2017, his long run of viral growth would come to a halt, as his channel went from amassing 7 million views per month in January of 2016 down to 1.8 million views per month in December of 2018.
There you go.
1 year later, on the 27th of January 2019, the Vegan Gains channel would be terminated from YouTube.
Okay. This channel has been terminated because we received multiple third-party claims of copyright infringement regarding material the user posted. Are you sure? It's weird that they just got him on that, but instead of, like, you know, the continuous violation of rules and conduct.
With a tweet reading, "Please help at YT Creators. I run an educational channel that focuses around plant-based nutrition, and I just had my channel terminated. I've tried my best to comply with YT guidelines, but apparently one of my older videos got flagged. I would appreciate help to resolve this issue." Despite the termination being short-lived, with his channel being reinstated a week later on the 7th of February, it would serve as a wake-up call for Vegan Gains. And from here on out, he would do his best to tone down the violent threats and sociopathic behavior on his streams and videos. Throughout 2019, Vegan Gains would attend and speak at conferences, look into research papers on veganism, and overall be less involved in drama. But the new style of content didn't sit well with his audience demographic of both radical vegans and non-vegans who subscribe for drama, and in turn, his channel would constantly lose thousands of subscribers each month. As 2020 rolled around, Vegan Gains was still losing subscribers and gradually fading into irrelevancy. That would be until he spotted a golden opportunity on the 27th of March, when YouTuber Penguinz0, who we'll be referring to as Charlie, published a video exposing another creator for mistreating animals, in a video titled, "YouTuber Tortures and Eats Animals Alive." Throughout the video, Charlie would call out and challenge the disgusting behavior of a particular mukbang YouTuber known as So Young, who was creating live feeding videos on her channel.
Her name is...
Why would you... Okay, like, something, like, in terms of, like, you know, animal cruelty and stuff like that, I mean, shit like that, like, I don't get it. Why would you post that on YouTube? Because you see the animal clear. I mean, especially like with, you know, that particular fish. I can't remember what it's called. I know what it is. I just can't remember what it's called. And then you're like going out of your way to basically eat it alive. Like, what?
So Young, and what she does on her channel is she buys sea creatures alive and then kills them in the slowest, most inhumane ways possible because she likes to watch them squirm around and put Facebook royalty-free music behind it as a joke. For example, with a squid in particular, she cuts the hood off and then sets the body down, and the body's still alive. The squid is still technically alive, and it's moving around trying to get the fuck away. She'll pour sauce on it and put some goofy music.
Like, this is the first I'm seeing this, by the way.
And make some stupid fucking jokes about it. this is even allowed and how she has an audience that supports it and defends her in the comment section. She has fucking simps defending her in the comment section. Have some fucking shame. Even if you set aside morals and ethics, the content itself is fucking atrocious. All she does when she's not torturing and eating animals alive is scream, as, you know, you have goofy cartoon music blasting behind her. So unless you're 8 years old who finds jingling keys comedic because they're loud, I don't know how you could possibly be entertained by anything she does. It's fucking terrible trash.
Oh God. But she just pour in the tank.
Towards the end of the video, Charlie would call her out for how she brutally prepared squid.
Let's see how she handles a squid.
Oh. Oh God, no. I know it's too late, but yeah, this is, I'm just gonna say this is gonna get my usual nuclear content warning clip. Oh my God, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I like squid, but how she's like, what,
As you can
with it still being alive, it's like no.
Imagine that's the most inhumane way of killing a squid and preparing it. She didn't dress the squid, she fucking mutilated it while it was alive.
Yeah.
The video proved to be a massive success, accumulating...
there are videos where you have these individuals like show you like a quick way to basically quickly and I would say closely to inhumanely like kill the squid. I said squid. I don't know why. But yeah, kill the squid to prepare it if you catch it, or catch it for, you know, food. That I don't know how I feel about it. She's just mutilating it. It looks wrong.
Over 9 million views. Not only that, but it also succeeded in raising awareness about the inhumane treatment of animals on the platform. A move that was widely recognized by the YouTube
that was
community,
eel.
with comments stating,
Okay.
The worst part of this is that octopuses are known to have very similar emotions to humans. The fact that the squid was still alive when she ripped off their head things, absolutely disgusting. As well as, I think the most sinister part about this is that she acts like this is silly. She laughs and makes funny noises. She's acting like this is comedic. It's sick. Whilst it's safe to say the YouTube community saw the video as a grim reality check, Vegan Gains would see it as his golden ticket to relevancy. On the 17th of April, Vegan Gains would publish a video titled Penguinz0 the Arch Hypocrite, where throughout the video, he would criticize and call out Charlie for allegedly being a hypocrite, referencing a video that Charlie posted earlier that month titled I Tried Making Sausages and It Was a Disaster.
But I was really sad to see that only a few weeks after Penguin made this video, he uploaded a video where he supported animal cruelty. He made a sausage making video.
Okay.
So what is this, Charlie?
And how is this similar? I don't understand how is that similar? Is he trying to imply that both her, like the lady that was basically mutilating these the animals she was cooking or eating, is compared to him making sausage? Like how is that similar? Whereas in this situation, you already have the processed, or at least the animals who hopefully, I would probably assume, were humanely slaughtered for food. Whereas, and at this point with them using the pig intestine, or like I'm assuming that's the sleeve for the sausage. I mean, that being a component where to an extent, the pigs or whatever animal is used for it aren't going to feel it anymore. Compared to, like, how do you compare that? Like, what?
Charlie?
Honestly, I don't know anymore. This looks like something I would have dissected in biology class in high school.
Oh, fuck. Alright. Good Lord. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that. I need a break. All right. Anywho.
You're gonna show them the front of it? And show them what it's supposed to be?
It's supposed to be sausage casing, but I feel like I've been scammed and got intestines.
So it seems that Penguin is unaware of this, but sausage casings, at least natural sausage casings like the ones he's using, are in fact made out of animal intestines. And if you look at the package, hog sausage casings, as the name implies, these sausage casings are made out of pig intestine.
Yeah, dead pig intestines. Whereas the individual who that he reacted to was, you know, making, or at least eating from live animals that, you know, are still, you know, in his mind are still thinking sentient creatures. So what's crueler, eating from eating from the processed meat, components of an animal that's already, dead, or eating an animal that is still alive and then basically pulling it apart and putting it through agonizing torture. I think that's the real question.
So I find it interesting that Penguin will complain about So Young abusing, torturing, and murdering these sentient animals, these very intelligent animals, by the way, like octopi and squid, but he's totally fine with abusing, torturing, and murdering other very intelligent animals, in the meat industry.
It's like how... it's weird that these people will go into like this argument. That this is their leap of logic, where if you take part in the meat industry, then you are, you're basically you're just as bad as the one holding the gun, or the I'm assuming the whatever, contraption they use to kill the animal that's being slaughtered. That you're just as bad. You're just as bad as the one cutting them up. You're just as bad as... it's like, no, you're not. You cannot pull that logic. And you can't shame people for basically, in terms of like their own lifestyle. You can't. This guilt by association bullshit just doesn't work.
Whilst Vegan Gains managed to compose himself considerably well throughout the video, many of his arguments would be irrational and difficult to take seriously, such as when he claimed Charlie was worse than So Young simply because he eats meat.
So who are you to criticize So Young for not killing these animals quickly and humanely when you can't even do that yourself?
Like, dude, again, like, we're at... I've already said my piece. This guy is irrational. He really is.
So you're just a complete hypocrite, and if anything,
no, he's not.
What you're doing is arguably worse because, again,
no, it's
you're
not.
paying someone else to do it. It's happening behind closed doors.
You're paying somebody else to do it, dude. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Getting away with this, you can keep doing this, and you don't have to suffer any social repercussions, financial repercussions. I'm sure eventually So Young's YouTube channel will end up being terminated for this sort of content, but you can keep doing this and just get away scot-free. So I also want to touch on this issue you brought up of humane killing. There's no such thing as humane killing. There's no way to kill a sentient being nicely because murder is inherently cruel. It is inherently cruel to take away the life of a sentient being that has a will to live.
What about I gotta bring this argument. What about dogs or animals that suffer from rabies? Animals that, to the extent that are infected by the rabies virus, that inevitably come not just a harm to themselves, but a harm to others, and a potential risk by passing the disease onto anything that they come in contact with or bite. And it's up in terms of like, the dealing with the animal, you have to basically put it down because it prevents the risk of rabies from spreading. I mean, wouldn't that be considered a humane way of killing the animal? Because to an extent, I mean, it's just why? Oh my gosh. What about, and here's another situation. What about a dog? What about an animal that unfortunately is suffering? An older animal that is, has so many health problems to the point where they can't even move. It's like, and in terms of using euthanasia for the dog or the animal or cat, whatever, doesn't that count as a humane way of, like, allowing the dog to pass? I mean, in certain situations where I mean, at one point, I don't know if I ever told this story on the channel. If I did, then I'm gonna repeat it. There was a point where myself and my ex-spouse, my ex-wife, we were going around town and we came across a Chihuahua. A Chihuahua who was very, very badly hurt. And no matter how much we tried, we couldn't... we tried to bandage it, but the wound itself seemed infected. It was continuously bleeding, so inevitably we had to take it to the SPCA, and lo and behold, and I found this out secondhand by a family member who worked, or at least knows the people from the SPCA, that the Chihuahua that we found was shot. It was shot by somebody. The wound itself, or at least the bullet, either it was a bullet or something, regardless of that, went clean through the animal. And unfortunately, due to how bad the wound was, the only thing that they could do, and it was remarkable that, by the way, it was remarkable that the dog was still alive when we found it. But by the end, there was not much they could do, so they inevitably had to put it down because there were some other things that was going wrong with it. So, in terms of like a humane way of killing an animal, there are examples of humanely killing an animal, but unfortunately for somebody like Vegan Gains, he doesn't want to acknowledge that.
If we were doing this sort of thing to family pets like dogs, if somebody shot a
We already
dog
do.
in their backyard, killed it instantly in one shot,
The video would be received.
People already do that. Again, depending on the situation, people already do that. And that's it. I mean, again, in terms of like, I get to go back to my previous example, like rabies. That's an example of, having to humanely kill an animal.
Extremely negatively, with it amassing over 30,000 dislikes compared to only a mere 4,000 likes, with comments stating, "The amount of punchability this man's face has is incredible. If you can't tell the difference of ripping apart a live animal and torturing it for fun, and ordering a fish sandwich, you've got some serious mental issues there, Mr. Gaines. What about attitude and outlook you have? My god." As well as, "Okay buddy, on one side, we have a weird lady who eats animals alive, and on the other side, we have Critical, who eats processed foods. Why don't you actually compare the two like-minded people, like a person who actually supports animal abuse and the octopus lady?" The following day, Charlie would publish a video titled "Addressing a Controversy," where he would respond to the video Vegan Games created about him. Charlie, being an animal lover, took the accusations and opinions very seriously, but he would also go into depth on how Vegan Games and his cult-like following are the reason that vegans get a bad reputation, and why most average people wouldn't even consider turning to veganism themselves.
Yeah.
I want to lead this conversation by saying I have nothing but respect for veganism as a whole, but it's people like Vegan Gains who are overly aggressive and the feral monsters in his comments section that really give vegans a bad rap and a negative reputation.
There you go.
They vilify anyone who's not a vegan. They treat it like a cult where you're a huge piece of shit, evil and wrong if you're not in their club. Now, of course, I'm not talking about everyone who is a vegan. I am talking about this community that Vegan Gains has fostered here, and he himself. This is the worst way of ever getting anyone to convert to that belief.
Exactly.
By constantly antagonizing them and throwing insults to anyone that is not already a vegan ensures that they will never take it seriously and always have a negative impression of your beliefs. They're like those protesters outside of Comic-Con every year with those "Jesus fucking hates people that like cartoon signs. You guys are wrong, you guys suck, and you're going to hell if you don't come to our church." No one's ever going to go to that. No one likes to be lectured at, berated, or insulted. They're not going to go to those people that are throwing those their way.
Following this, Charlie would reveal that he himself actually supports meat alternatives, and that they could in fact be the future. This sentiment would serve to set the tone for the rest of the video, as Charlie respectfully dismantled all of Vegan Gains' arguments.
And I think that sucks because I truly believe meat substitutes are the future. 100%. It's much more sustainable. There's so many benefits to meat substitutes that it is just a significantly better, cheaper.
Yeah, I got like I said, I agree with Charlie. I'm gonna call him Charlie. I myself, again, because I mentioned it before, I have for my diet have been trying my best to go for a more plant-based diet during the week. Whereas I'm eating more vegetables, I'm eating more salads. In terms of like dinners, it's more of like roasted vegetables or just really, really good like pre-prepared like vegetable dishes. When I go to Burger King, like places like Burger King of all places, I get like the Impossible Burger because it's actually really good. And I'll be honest, I have this joke now where I feel like it might actually be a regular burger, and they're just lying to vegans. But regardless, it's I mean, in certain areas, I mean, the plant-based stuff, although hypocritical in terms of their names, are really good. And I will admit that they're hit miss, and they actually do really well. And in terms of, you know, the plant-based substitutes,
and just all around better market. But it's more about getting people to accept that that could be the future. But you have people like Vegan Gains being the face of it, and no one takes it seriously, and they get this really bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
Later in the video, Charlie addresses the allegations that his actions are comparable to those of So Young, presenting a thoughtful counter-argument.
So this one here, I am just as bad, if not worse, than So Young because I'm paying someone to do what she does on camera. But that's not it either. Like, you're totally fucking wrong. I'm not paying someone to torture animals. What people who eat meat are under the impression of, they're paying someone to humanely provide that food for them, given the circumstances, as humane as it can possibly be. If I found out the place I'm getting my meat from has a fucking YouTube channel where they're finger blasting cow carcasses and using chicken corpses as baseball bats, I'll stop buying from it, obviously. No one is paying for these animals to be paraded around on YouTube and tortured, have salt poured on their corpse so they wiggle around and scream. No one's paying for that. So for him to say that I want to go out of my way to slap these meat producers in the face with money because I need that precious meat and don't care how they treat the animals is outright wrong.
Subsequently,
oh my gosh.
He confronts the absurd claim that his meat purchases are inhumane and cruel, articulating a well-reasoned response.
Humane killing? There's no such thing as humane killing. There's no way to kill a sentient being nicely, because murder is inherently cruel. It is inherently cruel.
This is a point I see brought up throughout all of veganism, that no matter how an animal is killed, no matter how humane it's deemed, it is inherently evil and wrong. But I have to ask, then does that make every animal in the animal kingdom inherently evil? Because the vast majority of animals out there eat other animals to survive, and they don't do it quickly. So does that make every animal in the animal kingdom that eats other animals inherently evil, or is that trait specific to humans alone? And if so...
I mean, yes, because there are certain animals that basically will take their time with their... I mean, will take their time with whatever animal that they've caught or killed. I mean, heck, in certain situations, you have animals like pelicans that will swallow other animals whole. And they're like squirming around as they're trying to escape. I mean, do we exclude those animals because, I mean, they're cruel to others? I mean, he's right on the money here. The Vegan Gains is kind of, his argument is kind of broken on that.
So, why? I know people always say that to a vegan when they're trying to epic own them in a Reddit comment, but typically they'll just say that that's deflecting or a dumb question, but I actually would like to know your opinion on it, Vegan Gains. What do you feel when an animal eats another animal? Is that animal now evil, and is that whole species bad?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand where the line is drawn. Humans do it in a way that is significantly less cruel to the animals than how the animals do it to each other.
Next, Charlie responded to Vegan Gains' ridiculous argument about shooting your own dog.
If somebody shot a dog in their backyard, killed it instantly in one shot, would you say, oh good, you know, he humanely, nicely murdered his dog? No.
Yeah, this comparison you've given here is actual dog shit. This doesn't fit anywhere into this ballpark here. Someone came and shot your pet for no reason. When these animals are being killed, there is a reason.
Okay, so I need to correct myself, because I would say unless it's, you know, unless there's a reason, then it shouldn't be okay. But, like, in terms of, like, stuff like rabies, then ultimately I would say it's to go and to have to euthanize your animal, then it's humane, because it's putting the dog or putting the animal out of its misery.
Behind it, it is so that it can provide food for people out there. I think I get the point you're making, but dog and pig, why dog, not pig? Oh, goodness me, what if dog was killed? You'd be upset about dog, but not pig. You can be upset equally for both. If that pig is a pet and it gets killed like that, you're gonna be upset. It's inhumane. That's not what the fuck we're talking about here.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Even if it wasn't even a living creature. Let's say your son had a pet rock that he bonded with hugely, and someone comes over and throws it in the trash. That shit's inhumane. It's not right. It's evil. This comparison just doesn't fit into this argument anywhere, because in your example, someone just comes and shoots a beloved family member.
Yeah.
To conclude the video, Charlie explains that individuals like Vegan Gains may actually be causing more harm than good to the vegan community, presenting a nuanced analysis.
I know I only showed like 4 clips from his video, but that's because these are the only 4 times he made a point. The rest of the video was filled with either him repeating the same thing or showing the atrocities that do unfortunately occur in some places in the meat industry. And I agree, terrible, absolutely terrible what happens in some of those places. And then he talks about the meat alternatives and how great they are. Totally agree. That shit fucking slaps. I talk about it on my streams from time to time when people ask me what my opinion is on vegan food. I fucking love meat alternatives. But the majority of the video is him just repeating the same point. Meat eater can't like animals. If meat eater like animal, meat eater wrong, meat eater dumb, meat eater bad. It's the silliest way of looking at things, the most childish and naive way of approaching things. By vilifying these people, by vilifying meat eaters, you're ensuring that they're never going to try vegan food. Because they're going to associate vegan food when they see Beyond Meat vegan, they're going to associate that with someone who's just fucking crying on YouTube. I fucking tuned into your Doom Eternal stream last night and you started whining towards the end of it about how everything you do loses you subscribers. You then had a moment of self-reflection and realization when you said maybe it's because you're an unlikable asshole. Yes, that's exactly why. That is how you're perceived on YouTube. It's how you conduct yourself. You're extremely condescending to anyone that's not in your club. You literally present yourself as a pseudo-intellectual Twitter user on YouTube. You attack everyone in the fitness industry that even so much as walks by a diner that has meat on the menu. You go out of your way to be an asshole to people and then act surprised when people think you're an asshole. It's how you're conducting yourself. This hyper-aggressive way, and it's not just you Vegan Gains, but a lot of people in that community go out of their way to try and lecture people or guilt them into joining, which is the worst possible approach to take and only holds it back. The public...
Yeah, he's 100% right on this.
Perception of meat substitutes could be huge right now.
He's 100% right.
Didn't keep vilifying them for it.
The video would be received extremely well from the audience, with one comment putting it well. Moral of the story: vegans give vegans a bad name. Later the same day, Vegan Gains would publish a response to Charlie's video. By now, it was becoming more and more obvious that he was involved with the intent to stir drama, rather than having a real and honest discourse, as he would take the offensive and call out Charlie's audience for being toxic and allegedly harassing him on stream.
I just did a live stream a few hours ago, and because Charlie did this response video around the same time I started my live stream, a lot of his followers came over to my live stream, and what did they do? They called me names.
Plants feel pain, plants feel pain. Plants feel pain. Plant lives matter. Shut up, dude. Your hairline is fucked. I mean, I know he's gonna try to say, oh, people are calling me new. Like, dude, people are just saying plants feel pain too.
They were spamming the chat with, oh, meat tastes great, you're an idiot. They were talking about...
I just chopped a pig's head. Don't give me that BS. I'm a butcher by profession. I butcher chickens, rabbits, cows, ducks, goats, sheep, turkey, and sometimes deer while hunting. Loser.
How they butcher and kill animals, and throughout the entire stream, there were people encouraging everyone to false flag the stream to get it taken down, and to give my channel a community guideline strike, and there were even people who were insulting me with racial slurs like the N-word. Is my community that toxic, Charlie? Does my community go over to your channel and just spam you with nonsense? Do the people who follow me encourage everyone to false flag your videos, your streams, to give you community guideline strikes? Do they insult you with racial slurs? I'm pretty sure they don't. So not only are you just making ridiculous personal attacks and poisoning the well, but this is just completely hypocritical. Your community is just as, if not more toxic than my community, and what the hell does this matter? What does this have to do with the topic of my video of animal ethics? Nothing. You are just going off on a completely irrelevant tangent.
Not really irrelevant, because again, you went after, I think importantly, you went after him, you know, claiming that he was being a hypocrite, that he was on the same level as this person that was basically torturing and eating animals alive. I mean, if anything, in terms of it's relevant and very on point to a response to some of the tangents that you have posted towards Charlie. Anywho. Okay. Had to pause again. Alright. Good lord. As well as work on videos, but anyway. Let's continue this. We got like, what, 13 minutes left? I've got it sped up too, so Shouldn't take us too long.
To just make me and my community look bad so that you seem like the reasonable one, but you are clear.
Okay. Right off the bat, like after I like come back to do this thing again, dude, the only one that's making the community look bad is yourself. I mean, seriously, with your irrational behavior as well as your irrational, I guess irrational like thinking, thought process. Trying to like force people into a certain way of life. It's just, no, you make yourself look bad. You make your community look bad with how crazy you are.
Clearly anything but reasonable.
Rather than taking accountability for his own actions, Vegan Gains would frequently resort to deflecting. Instead of blaming his long history of sending death threats, starting fights, and sociopathic behavior, he instead blamed Charlie for being the one to point it out. One of the dumbest takes that Vegan Gains had throughout the video was his comparison of Charlie buying KFC to the literal Holocaust.
It's not illegal, nor is it some type of moral conundrum to like animals, but still eat meat.
So, two really bad arguments here. First argument he made, he said that killing and eating animals isn't illegal. Well, what does that matter?
I mean, because it's not illegal, dude. I mean, since the beginning of time, what people have, basically hunted and gathered food of any sort to sustain themselves, whether it be meat or, vegetation. And again, just because you have certain individuals that stick to a particular lifestyle does not mean that everybody has to conform, especially when certain individuals may be incapable of doing so.
Law doesn't determine morality. At one point it was legal to keep slaves. In Nazi Germany it was legal to kill Jews. So is it okay to keep slaves and kill Jews as long as it's legal? No. So if the law doesn't determine morality,
that is such a weird fucking comparison. Comparing basically, the process of, meat or like, animal or butchering animals and, processing food or whatever to the legalization of slavery and the Nazi, like, what? Where is your leap in logic that would say that that's a good comparison? That makes no sense.
then why are you using that as an argument?
The video would only escalate from here, as next, Vegan Gains would go for Charlie's love of dogs.
As an argument. And the second argument he made wasn't even an argument, he just merely made a statement. He said that it's not contradictory to claim that you're an animal lover but also kill and eat animals. No, that is completely contradictory.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
If you are going to claim that you love animals or you are a friend to animals, you can't then kill them. You're a dog lover, it seems, Charlie. You have, a lot of Instagram videos where you're playing with your dogs, giving them a lot of love, care, and attention. Would it be hypocritical for you to shoot and kill your dogs?
Censored due to it showing violent and gory pictures of animal bodies. Freaking A. Yeah, and this, by the way, this kind of goes back into, like, whether or not freaking Vegan Gains is a hypocrite in terms of what he's saying. Which, by the way, he had no qualms to abusing his dogs, so it's funny that he's going after Charlie and his animals.
Shoot them in the back of the head and then chop them up and eat them? Yes, that would be pretty damn hypocritical. You can't claim that you love something, you can't claim that you support animal welfare, but then also support their abuse and murder. That's nonsense.
Following this, Vegan Gains would almost have a good argument when he attempted to use Charlie's argument of animals eating other animals against him in order to defend So Young's content.
And I'm not accusing Charlie of doing this, I don't know what his real intention was here, but normally when I hear the sort of argument made or point that animals kill other animals, people are suggesting that because animals do it, then it's okay for us to do it.
I think it's the point of, I think the point that this guy doesn't understand is the fact that it's in their nature. And it's stupid to try to... ultimately, it is very, very stupid to try to chastise an individual or an animal for what is essentially their nature. I mean, when we're born, we are born as creatures. A man has been born as creatures to eat both meat and vegetation. Whereas, other in the animal kingdom, certain animals, they only eat plants. Some eat bugs. Some eat, actual meat. But in terms of, what they do or like what they eat, what they drink, whatever, it is in their nature. Vegan Gains, unfortunately, does not understand that. And to the point that I guess Charlie's trying to make, because Vegan Gains it has this whole high horse about morality. It's like, okay, so, and it's an obvious, situation to bring up. Is if you're gonna try to claim that it's bad for humans to kill animals, or claim that it's immoral for humans to kill animals, then doesn't that mean that it's the same for animals killing other animals? It's I mean, to an extent, it's very comparable.
Well, if you're actually making that argument that if animals do it, it's okay for us to do it, then you can't criticize So Young. As you pointed out, when animals kill other animals, they do it in horrific fashion. They usually start eating the animal while it's still alive. Well, if it's okay for us to emulate animal...
Yeah, but for us as humans, normally when we eat meat, it's usually already passed away. It's already been processed, it's already been cut, cleaned, and divvied out. So the meat itself that we consume from has already passed, or at least from the animal that has already passed. The comparison that it's just the same as that one lady that was freaking abusing the animals before eating them. No, it's totally not. Especially when, again, the animals that she is eating are still alive. I feel like I got a cough after this. Freaking A.
Behavior, then what So Young is doing is perfectly fine. She's emulating animal behavior. She is eating these animals while they're still alive, just like other animals do. So, again, if you're going to use this as an actual argument, it just proves further that you are a complete hypocrite.
The video would finally end with Vegan Gains responding to Charlie's comments about him losing subs and being unlikable due to his own behavior. It's safe to say the video was received extremely poorly, with the video amassing over 23,000 dislikes and comments in support of Charlie, such as, "Bro, get out of here. You kept saying he was making personal attacks when you've been personally attacking him for eating meat and being a hypocrite. The point of his video wasn't to counter-argue you. He was annoyed with the fact that vegans, yourself included, are getting far too aggressive with insulting meat eaters. I personally don't like animal torture, but end up having to eat meat due to substitute pricing and dietary reasons. You're a total toolbag, dude. All you can do is stir up controversy to get clicks. Imagine how great this channel would be if he wasn't such an immature prick."
I think that's the unfortunate fact with a lot of these channels. They have their heads so far up their asses, and to an extent, like, are so high on their own ego. Especially when they're doing things that are very questionable and people give them criticism. A lot of them would do a lot better if they actually accepted a lot of the criticism that has been given to them from other content creators. As long as it's valid, I should say.
3 days later, on the 21st of April, Charlie would publish his final video on the situation. Throughout the video, Charlie would respond to a variety of Vegan Gains deflections and arguments, such as how Vegan Gains accused Charlie of fostering a toxic community, as well as how Vegan Gains would misrepresent scientific information in order to fuel his moral superiority complex. By now, it was crystal clear to Charlie that Vegan Gains wasn't involved in the controversy to represent the unspoken voice of animals, rather for his own personal benefits.
I wanted his perspective. I did open that video up for a dialogue. I thought that's what the goal was, but Vegan Gains has made it clear he doesn't give a fuck about a conversation. He only cares about milking the attention.
This would set the tone for the rest of the video.
I think ultimately that's what it is too. It's like listening, because I've listened to a few of the debates with Vegan Gains, in them. Some of his points are almost, again, just like his vegan points, just feel irrational, and to a degree, almost nonsensical. And it kind of makes you wonder if some of the things that he's saying is actually what he believes.
As Charlie would go on to dismantle not just Vegan Gains' arguments, but himself as a person.
The point I'm making is your entire history on YouTube has been actively shooting the idea of meat substitutes in the foot to people that aren't in the know. You say a lot of it's geared towards education, but if you look at the video you made about me, only a chunk in the middle seems educational, where you talk about the alternatives and, well, here's what you could.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's educational. The entire second half of the video is you call So Young a piece of shit, look in the mirror, you're a hypocrite, 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 you do this, you're a hypocrite, she does this, she's not a hypocrite, you're a hypocrite, big hypocrite. That's not educational, and it doesn't do anything. You're not challenging my beliefs, you're not making me reevaluate the way I look at things, that's just you doing an attack.
The way Vegan Gains presents himself is extremely out of touch, and Charlie would call him out for this too, as he would go on to call Vegan Gains delusional for his comparison of eating chicken for dinner to being equal or worse than literally torching and eating intellectual animals alive.
But since you want to play this game, I'll hop in the swamp with you for a moment and fight you on some things. Your comparison to me eating a chicken tender being the same as So Young torturing animals on YouTube for entertainment, if not worse, that is just outright ridiculous, and you're fucking delusional. It's hard to have, like, an actual cohesive argument to that because it is so outlandish. That's like me saying you support the abuse of women and children by buying tickets to a movie. Hollywood has abused child actors and actresses constantly, so by you having seen even a single movie in your life, you have supported that. It's a moral high ground anyone can take against anyone for anything. You wear a gaming headset during your streams. You realize those parts that compose that gaming headset, a lot of them are made in sweat.
By the way, I want to point out this for a lot of people, and a lot of people see it, it's an emotional, it's a emotional high ground of what food you eat. I mean, in reality, it's like whatever you eat is for you and for you alone. But, or like depending on your loved ones. But regardless of that, it's just kind of stupid to even go so hard as to debate, you know, the importance of one food against the other. It really is something that it shouldn't be a thing.
Shops. Very, very immoral means of getting those parts, and you're wearing it freely. So by wearing that, you're supporting that kind of terrible thing in the world. I'm of course not the only one to make this comparison, but you keep dodging it. On Twitter, a user proposed the exact same thing, and your response was, oh, you're just retarded, you're not nearly on the same level of intelligence that I am, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm holier than thou, you're wrong. Look at Foxconn. I don't know if you're joking or if you're actually dumb, but Foxconn actually does use minors at their factories in China. They're being investigated for it. It's pretty well documented. And Foxconn's an extremely terrible place to work that's well known for workers committing suicide. So I don't know why you'd use this as an example to somehow dismiss the argument. But even if you did cherry pick like the world's best factory, it doesn't dismiss the comparison. That'd be like me saying, hey, look at this incredible slaughterhouse that treats its animals extremely well. This is representative of all slaughterhouses, right? It just doesn't make any sense. You just come across real dumb here.
Later in the video, Charlie would break down the various hypocritical actions of Vegan Gains, such as how he produced cotton t-shirts for profit, which is known for having adverse effects on wildlife and nature. But none of this would come close to when Charlie brought up a dark moment in Vegan Gains' past, the time when Vegan Gains decided to make fun of a child suffering from cancer.
One thing you've done pretty often is make fun of people with cancer, which I think is very low. Even recently, it's not like you've progressed past an edgy stage. Recently, you made fun of a bodybuilder who took a picture with a child with cancer.
Cancer is an almighty killer, and I wish there was a cure for it. I, for one, will be supporting Team Lewis in the future, and hope you guys will too. One day, cancer will be a thing of the past, and the memory of Lewis will live on in the cure when it's found.
Well, Eddie, since we're still waiting for that cure for cancer to be found, how about in the meantime we try and prevent ourselves from developing cancer in the first place?
Vegan Gains defends this clip vehemently by saying he's clearly not mocking this child with cancer, but I don't know how he can possibly not see how it seems like he is by the way he's talking. If I talk to you that way, Vegan Gains, you'd think that I'm mocking you, right? Like, my name's Richard and I'm so mad at meat. That sounds like I'm making fun of you, doesn't it? That's exactly what you did to this kid in this very think that I'm mocking you, right? Like, my name's Richard and I'm so mad at meat. That sounds like I'm making fun.
Did the thing just pause? Okay, no.
fun of you, doesn't it? That's exactly what you did to this kid in this very tough situation.
The video
Yeah,
seemed like a
that's
perfect
still
way to end
screwed
the
up.
saga. Charlie not only gave relatively solid counter-arguments, but he also explained to Vegan Gains where he went wrong with his approach, with constructive feedback on how to actually convert more people into being vegan. And the audience recognized this, with comments stating, "I originally thought Charlie was just a funny and sarcastic YouTuber. Then I realized he's actually pretty intelligent and a great person. Did Charlie just destroy a man with his own logic and ideology through sheer intelligence and rational sense?" As well as, Charlie may not like controversy videos, but he's goddamn good at them. When it seemed like the back and forth had finally come to an end, Vegan Gains would post yet another video. The video was about all you could expect from Vegan Gains by this point. Deflections after deflections after deflections. It would unironically try to argue that Charlie was only making personal attacks at him for his own financial gain. And that's despite the entire drama being started by Vegan Gains himself, by making the accusation that Charlie is worse than a literal animal abuser, simply based on the fact he eats meat. The video can be easily summed up by when Vegan Gains resorted to calling Charlie a liar.
So Charlie, it's obvious that you're just lying and trying to slander me, I guess because you're mad that you lost this, argument on the internet.
I don't want to say he lost. I mean, if ultimately he gave his points. And I don't think he was... if I would have to guess, I don't think he was trying to play this whole game where either or would have been the winner. So...
it's funny how you will take this clip of me out of context, but you won't actually show what I actually said on this issue. I think my stance on this was very reasonable, even if you disagree. I don't think you can claim after watching that clip that I made fun of a kid with cancer, yet still, even though you alluded to the fact that you are aware of this clip, you saw the video I made, you still deliberately chose to take this clip out of context and slander me. Seriously, you're just a piece of crap. I don't even understand why you're doing this other than you're just mad that I made you look like a fool.
The video once again would be received extremely negatively, with the video garnering over 22,000 dislikes compared to a mere 3,800 likes, with comments stating, "Other morons like you have used this personal attack against me. For someone who hates personal attacks so much, you sure use them a lot. This guy is so fucking sensitive and is..."
Alright. Let's... I hate to do this again. Let's pause. Okay, that keeps happening. I'm sorry, guys.
Done no research on what Charlie is like in any of his videos, which I could dislike more than once. As well as, I know this is a year old, but how are you going to end the video by saying you prove Charlie's a hypocritical liar without any reasoning other than, well, I don't believe those facts. Whilst it's safe to say that Vegan Gains' idea of baiting Charlie into giving him attention worked quite well, his channel would only continue to decline over the following year.
As it should.
2021, he proved he wasn't finished with his sociopathic behavior, when he would get called out by Greg Duchetti for making fun of another man and his son just mere hours after he passed away.
Coach Greg, and as you know, I'm not a fan of Vegan Gains. He often does videos attacking me or other people, but this time, he went after John Meadows only hours after he passed away. I was sent a video from Profit Fear. Vegan Gains insults John Meadows just hours after his death. So I watched the video and I was shocked by what he said. I was thinking, should I do a video or not do a video? And I think that we need to call him out when he does something wrong. He should realize that there's a line where you just can't cross, and that line was crossed.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, despite people telling him that he's crossing a line, this dude isn't gonna care. I mean, like I said, we have an individual who's like very, very up on the high horse. That he is not going to listen to any sort of concerning perspectives. Yeah, I mean, involving Vegan Gains, it's all kinds of bad. But, anywho. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. It's been a long one. So, to everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on our socials, they're in the description. As well as, please check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys next video.
So full of devoting myself to the night. free.